of the show? Just say maybe Christo Strainhunter or just Christo or something like that.
I wanna do that. Christo from Congo.
Christo from Congo. So welcome to another exciting episode. I'm not sure exactly what number we're on, but today we're very excited because we got Christo here from the Congo. He's done massive things in the cannabis world. He's a well-known figure as well. He's got lots of followers and stuff like that on Instagram, and we're super privileged to have him agree to coming onto our channel and sharing a little bit about your story and just who you are and things like that. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm also very privileged to be invited.
Yeah. You're always welcome.
Thanks for being here, man.
Cool. So Christoph, firstly, let's just get a little bit of background about who you are, where you come from. Where did the story of Christoph begin? If I can ask it like that.
Like how far you want to trace that back?
Just basics. It depends on you. We can sit here for hours. We don't mind.
How long of battery do you have?
I've got like 9 hours.
Okay. My background. I grew up in Belgium. Regular middle class life. Went to school, went to university. At university I did African studies. That's the choice that I picked out of many things I was doubting in between.
Yes. That's African studies, interesting. So Africa was always an interest of yours?
We need a revolution not tomorrow but today. Young good people unite and fight a better way. I sing it in my music and I pray it every day. Black and white come together, one love is what we say. Le peuple africain déclare changement de politique internationale. God bless Africa. Our mother earth is dying, change not come. Can we make it stop crying? Or will it be too late? People stand up and speak up, let them hear your voice in democracy. People decide they must do what we want them to do. Or they must do what we want them politics to do. L'autoroute est bloquée. Impossible d'avancer. L'autoroute est bloquée. Révolution. La politique ne marche pas.
Yes. Since a young age, it has attracted me always in some form. Culture, the arts, since I was a kid, I don't know why. I didn't even know that study existed as a universal master degree. But then when I was at the age of having to make a choice, I started informing myself of all the options that a man can study in Belgium high schools and universities, and I came up with this, and I was like immediately quite fast sold and decided, this is what I'm going to do.
It was close to heart already.
Close to heart. Although we were from the first week in the class being told that if you choose this option, it's fine, but it's not going to be the winner for finding job opportunities. It's not really a degree that
not everyone gets hired
looking for. So you do it out of interest, and then you start creating your own path.
Okay. Quite a brave thing to try and do, by the sounds of things. Just before we move on from Belgium, there's something that's always very interesting for South African viewers. Is there a major difference between Belgian laws and South African laws that you know of?
Regarding cannabis.
Regarding cannabis.
Yes. I think your country, South Africa, is making a lot of progress, and you see things are happening here and backed up by law. even, you guys are not getting arrested for opening the club here or having even a decent amount of cannabis on you. That's not gonna.
You could have your maybe like 50 grams or 60 grams on you.
In Belgium, don't mention 50 grams.
Is it like that?
Yes.
You get locked up quick.
Yeah. For that, you will be already categorized a little bit different.
Yeah.
All possession, use of cannabis in Belgium is actually prohibited. There is a little bit of a gray zone, which means for an adult person, it's not gonna get like the priority of prosecution. Okay. So if you have in your pocket maximum and then a maximum of 3 grams,
is that the limit?
Then they're gonna take it from you and maybe make a PV. You are in a way allowed to have 1 plant at home, and that's basically it.
Okay. Wow, so South Africa is quite progressive with it.
It's quite progressive.
Okay.
Okay,
that's amazing to know.
I applaud for that.
Yeah,
Go boys, go!
Absolutely. The great tackle was from Wilson. McPimpy putting in behind for look out! Back to Makazoli! McPimpy! Oh my!
Absolutely. The only thing in Belgium they have figured out now is that it is a medicinal plant, and then they just speak about CBD that can be sold in specific shops if the THC percentage doesn't go above 0.2%.
0.2%.
That's quite low.
Yeah, it's very low. Eh? Interesting that they have this divide between CBD and THC, and then they're making it out as if THC is this angry, evil step cousin, but it's like they're both so beneficial,
True. True.
Okay, so you grew up in Belgium, and then you found yourself somehow in Congo, working with the Strainhunters, and you did an episode with them. And, how did you go from Belgium to, how did you find yourself in the Congo?
Well, I took a plane. I was also surprised to find myself in Congo, to be honest.
Of all places in the world,
Yeah. All my fellow students, we were a small class, like 30 students, and we spread out. We went to all countries, South Africa, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria. Everybody went everywhere. And by some connection I had via, I ended up going to Congo first time in 2005, so 16 years ago.
No, that's quite
It's a long time, man.
Yeah.
Living there in Congo, you must have seen some crazy things.
We've seen crazy things of all kinds. I was very young when I went to Congo for the first time. And I remember Congo back then compared to now. Back then it was still underdeveloped.
Okay.
Just the airport building, you have no idea of where you arrive. It's like a pure chaos. Everybody wants to help you carry your suitcase. The belt doesn't work, so you have to grab it yourself. And then I remember, arriving on the parking of the airport, there were like 5 young street kids asking me for money, and I didn't speak the language. I was like, yeah. And then they took out the knife, those guys, on the parking of the airport. And then a military guy came with his weapon and he chased away the little kids. That was my first experience.
That was like, welcome to
Congo. And we were driving to the city, and there was a power cut, so the only light you see were those petrol lights, and a lot of movement of people walking around everywhere, and we were driving the car. And I remember I was thinking to myself, like, can I go back?
Can I go back to Belgium?
Make this choice, and then of course you roll into it, and you get more familiar with everything.
Used to the space.
You learn the language, very important.
What language do they speak?
Lingala.
Lingala.
The region where I am.
Okay.
Lingala is the most commonly spoken language. and then and then you become part of that environment. It's a total different world. You can't compare it. It's difficult to explain to you how it is because you need to go there to experience it. But it's also exciting in a way because you will never get tired of adventure. There will be always some kind of adventure.
Congo is rainforest, most of it, hey?
It has a big rainforest.
Huge rainforest.
It has huge cities.
Cities as well.
Like Kinshasa is a big city of 12 million inhabitants, probably even more. That's where I started, in the capital. Spent a long time in the townships. Did my research for my thesis with the street gangs.
With the street gangs, eh?
Yes.
Okay, bringing it to light, what they're doing and stuff like
What
that.
they're doing, what their perception is of Europe and how they see their own political situation. And I'm not that really of a study person that wants to really focus hard on a thesis from an anthropological side, because it's written words, but while I was doing my interviews with the guys, I was living the life of the guys. And the longer you are with them, you become a part of that. You are not an external observer anymore. You become like a participant. Which is nice at some point. But when two rivalizing street gangs clash with each other, like where are you?
Yeah, you don't want to be caught in the middle of that.
It can get wild, It's machetes and everything going out. But I was so well introduced there that I got accepted by everybody. If I would be walking with one crew or one gang, they would at one point say me, "Okay, Christophe, we will stop here at this street, and you can cross, of course." And then, okay, I say bye to everybody.
And then don't go any further.
I cross that imaginary boundary, and then I be welcomed by the other youths, So I was very well blended. Let's say it like that. And
this must have been very intimidating to you at times.
At times in the beginning, but
you get used to it.
You get used to it, and those people become family. Maybe
They become like so close.
Yes. But it's a relationship you have to maintain. Of course, if you go away for a few years and you come back, not everybody gonna understand where you went to and why. So it's so that's my beginning.
Amazing,
of my Congo experience. Those were the townships, and then to take a few steps further, I've been doing music.
Kinshasa la belle, Kinshasa la plus belle capitale de la
RDC Congo bamasta mbote ndenini koe calme posé charma control to kota transporto to kende makoro na yebite masa esposa na bongo na sana de San Fran na migration babul moko moshoro congolais qualité qui Congo Kinshasa la belle ou Kinshasa la poubelle
music with Congolese musicians. I produced them and I was back then active myself in those days, and then we produced the album, we promoted it on the radio and television, we played festivals on the main stage of the biggest festival of Kinshasa live on television.
Wow.
And back then we were like quite militant because we were reggae.
Okay. Most of it is like, you know,
message
not allowed in a lot of the world, you know.
Yes, yes. We're not allowed to say just anything.
Yeah.
But we did it, you know. We were on fire, you know. We were like, we gotta change this. And we were backed up, you know, because we had like massive crowd behind us. All those youths, they were supportive to us. You know?
They want to hear it. They want to see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
If we came from an interview on television, for example, walking out of the TV station, we had the local youth gang from that area. They were like, "We just saw you! Hey, Christo, we saw you!" So we were like, it was like boiling, you know.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then during live television, during the concert, we got cut after 20 minutes of playing because maybe some phone calls must have taken place, like, shut these guys down because we don't want to hear what they are saying.
Yeah, they're spreading the message.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a part of history, you know. That's 2010, so that's also already like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. No.
You've always been pushing the how can I say, almost not pushing the boundaries, but you know, going out and you know, saying what you have to say, spreading the message, you know, not letting yourself be held back by things. That's admirable.
Following the inspiration.
Yeah.
Yes. What I saw in Congo and the injustice and where the poverty actually really comes from, although it's one of the most rich countries in the world, but it's such a contrast that many people live in extreme poverty.
In extreme poverty, yeah.
It's something that touched me to my heart, and we couldn't remain silent. And I think I was just following my inspiration.
Amazing, eh?
And what's the cannabis like in Congo, bro?
The cannabis like in Congo, it's the Congolese landrace, so it's like a pure sativa bread that you find everywhere if you follow the traces of, you know, the common African sativa smell. It's grown massively in Congo. There's huge fields. There's also a huge consumption in Congo.
close your eyes and smell this and tell me what you think about. I think about African sativa. African sativa meaning that common smell that is between South Africa, Malawi, Swaziland, and now Congo. There is a common line in the smell. It's this type of smell. The same way as there is a common line of smell in Himalayan plants. All these plants from the Himalaya have this kind of Himalayan smell, the mountain plants.
Guys, quickly, I want to take a picture for it. You need to take pictures with nothing.
But we don't have other strains in Congo, like you are here playing with the cheese and the guy is breathing this and that.
Okay, the strain's very limited on that side, eh?
Yeah.
You have to bring basically in.
You have to bring in.
If you want to breed there.
If you would like to, you would have to bring in. They know their own Congo Black, Congo Red, then Kamuna, from different regions has got different flavors or names, but in general it's all the same plant.
And you guys did a Strainhunter episode there in Congo, and you guys did massive, amazing things there as well. We visited the fields and things like that. How did that end up happening? Going from doing the gangs and now you with Orion and Franco and Simon and these guys. It's a massive jump
from one gang to another. Just joking.
Those guys are awesome. We have lots of respect for them.
Yes. I was honored to be picked, let's say, by Strainhunters to scout their mission in Congo. They picked me up because I left a trace somewhere. Another little part of my history in Congo is that I'm well connected with the local Rasta Federation.
Okay.
They're called Franco, Federation of Rasta in Congo.
Okay.
I made a documentary about them, just because I felt like doing it. Very low budget, just a little Sony cam,
Is it on YouTube?
Yes.
What's the name of it?
Franco, Rasta in Congo.
Franco. I'm gonna go check that out. Definitely.
So go check it out,
Anyone
guys.
else who want to go check that out, they can do that for sure.
Yes. It got quite a lot of views, and it got picked up by a person who was looking for a skilled person who is blended in the Congolese culture for Strainhunters. So it's thanks to that trace that I left on YouTube that I got contacted.
That you got connected with him. Okay.
Yes. Because they needed somebody who is familiar with the country, with the mentality, the culture, the language.
Sorry to interrupt, but Strainhunters happened in what year? What, more or less? Did that take place?
We did that in 2016.
2016. Yes. So at which point you were already in Congo for 11 years?
Yes.
So
11 years on one row, but in
and out, coming and going.
Yeah.
So you knew Congo pretty well by that time as well.
Yeah. We flew to Congo. Simon flew in, picked him up at the airport, and then we did the whole expedition together with Simon and then some other local brethren, Congolese Rasta. We've been everywhere, all the corners of the country, to scout.
To scout out for the best spots.
Yes, where we would be having the happy result, of course, because you can't make a Strainhunters movie without going to an actual field. Otherwise it's a bummer. So you need to be sure that if you bring the professional camera crew, that all the investment and the traveling of people leads to something concrete, of course. So we've been scouting that, which was not easy. So the villagers were scared. They thought we were working for the president and we would come burn down their fields.
Wow.
Yes. We even once popped up in a village and we find the village abandoned, like not a single person.
They all ran.
They ran. They heard some via tam wise that some boats were coming and the village was abandoned. And we were like, oh fuck, how are we gonna do this now? Are we gonna convince them that we are ganja lovers? You know, that we have no bad intention. We actually wanna support and promote and bring out the message. So then we had like this poster of Strainhunters.
kasi bazwina bato bauti South Africa yauti Sud Africa ndomoni place bunga esimi evolue na ye auti Bruxelles ayaka na ye mbala ebele na Kinshasa lato mbala mpe mokosolola na ye aye mpe akosolola biloko ezali atiki ambassadeur sikoyo asolola kalme bano kumati toyoka.
Arian and Franco in the cannabis field, you know, so we could show like we represent this family, you know, and then we had like the catalog of the greenhouse genetics to show those guys like, look, this is what we make. And then I remember the chief of the village, he was looking at it and was like, he had never seen weed like that before. He couldn't even imagine that it's cannabis.
Is that what?
No way. So it took time, you know, it takes time, a lot of talking, going, coming back, earning the trust, leaving like a symbolic donation also, like to please rice, sugar as a gift, and then you slowly open up those doors. Now you can get things done. It requires a lot of travel. Long distance travel because Congo is huge.
Congo is massive.
It's massive, so the fields are also massive and then far away from places, so you have to mission for that. We did 500 kilometers.
Ibundu yenge kwa babontono, oh yenge kwa babontono, batuzolele. Ibundu yenge kwa babo, yes sir. Yenge kwa babo.
Roxy has to come in every interview.
Always, every interview. She does this all the time. Go lie down again. Go lie down again. Go. Sorry, girl. Sorry.
Just got that out of me.
Yeah. No, amazing. That must have been so cool to experience something like that, you know, to have like big guys like that, you know, approach you and do stuff with you.
And then, like from there, like what brought you to South Africa from the Congo? Have you traveled many other places in Africa, or?
For holiday, I have just North Africa, Morocco. I've been in Gambia, Senegal for holidays, Ethiopia shortly. That's it. Most of it's Congo. How did I come from Congo to South Africa? While after the Strainhunters movie that we did, there was an opportunity because of good connections made for Greenhouse to start a growing operation, which started with Franco running that. Unfortunately, he passed away of malaria that he contracted in Congo. And then the question was like, okay, we continue the project, yes or no? So I agreed on stepping in. And then 1 week later, I was in Congo to find this one greenhouse that Franco had built with the local carpenters, wooden structure, quick, because he had like 1 week time. And there were already like the first seedlings popping up. That's in the middle of a valley, dark in the night when we arrived there. And then we walked over the hilltop and we see this one greenhouse lighting up like a spaceship. That was an amazing experience, and then we had.
Must have been good, especially with Franco and everything that happened with him, to walk into a grow room. A grow room is quite a personal space,
Yes.
Must have been a special little passing on there.
Yeah, we strongly felt his energy.
100%.
Yes, and all the villagers there were mourning because they still couldn't believe that the man had passed away. So we did like a ceremony.
Wow! So he was close to them as well.
Very close. Very close. Everywhere Franco has passed, it's full gas. Even the most little children, they will shout at you, "Full gas! Full gas!" Franco introduced it there, and it's gonna stay forever.
Amazing. Yeah, he was a powerful person, because even around here, he's made impact. His Exodus cheese that he developed, and
Franco's lemon cheese. Yeah,
both of those were like legendary. I don't know the exact history of it all, but I mean, those strains in this area have changed the game for many people. So.
Yeah, we all miss him till today. True legend, and Rasta spirit from the inside. If you look at his musical preference, it's like a hardcore. But reggae is also on the playlist.
Yeah.
If you speak to him, you know he's
there.
So, smoking weed outside the airport with the Rastas, listening to Alpha Blondie. It's like normal, totally normal. Out to the airport, joint, music, nobody says shit. Casaman, Elephant Man.
Okay, well, a couple of other questions. Sorry, I'm going to go completely different topic now. If let's just say you had the power to, write up some laws and decide what would be the perfect way for you, is there anything you would change? Is there anything you would especially put in there? Is there like some kind of, South Africa is very progressive and stuff, but there's lots of stuff that people don't agree with. We want it to be a completely private thing. We don't want it to be, regulations are good, but we don't want to lose the private use of it, and have corporations come take it away from the small growers and stuff. So just to get back to the question, if there's anything you would change, if anything, would you? It's a difficult one.
I haven't very profoundly studied the law that's in place, but I have a notion of it. What I would say is I'm looking at how South Africa is doing it. It's exciting days because it's like today or yesterday there was like a very important decision-making moment, right? So what I just think is very important is that we can come to a complete picture, meaning that there is a framework, because nobody needs to mess around.
exactly, this is what I can do, this is what I can't.
And we need to make sure we can deliver quality products, so that comes with some kind of control. Depends on what markets, of course.
Yes. What a clean, trustworthy products, you know, which is a problem in Africa. Most of them don't have a lot of money and things like that, so testing is a problem, security is a problem, you know, and that kind of stuff. But,
there's great potential here. Must watch that, like you say, the big private companies don't take over everything, and especially the guys that have been actually always all those years in the lobbying against cannabis. They change their wheel now, and then they want to take it all, and that we shouldn't allow to happen. And I think the cannabis plant, as the energy that it carries, will not allow that to happen. Although it may look like, but let's look on the long term, you know.
Yeah.
Freedom fighters.
Yeah, 100%.
Forever, for life.
100%.
We respect the timing of the universe. I think it's very important that those people, the local farmers, villagers, talking about South Africa now, that have been growing for generations, that have even been poisoned from the air for what they are doing, that those ones
spraying and all of that stuff, eh?
That those ones get supported and get value for their product, which is very medicinal. So
high in CBN and
So we must come to a complete picture, you know, think about everything, and then it can work very fine for everybody. Everybody can be happy. It will fuel the economy, create jobs.
Which brings me to my next question. My next question was, do you see it as a viable economy booster for South Africa? You know, do you think it can make a difference, like all the vibe is about, you know, at the moment?
I think it can make a difference, and South Africa must listen to itself. Let Europe do what they want to do, you know. South Africa can be a very proud nation.
Yes,
and even take the lead.
Take the lead, figure out a new way, our own way to do it.
If they want to, and inspire the rest of Africa. And I'm looking direction Congo, for example.
Yes.
Congo. It's a long history. We come from far, but people are watching.
Yeah, people are watching. 100%.
I'm sure also Congolese people that have decision-making power are also watching what's happening in South Africa and get inspired by that. So that's why I really fully support the movement here, because I believe it can spread.
Amazing. And I really hope that they do open it up and people can use it in different ways, and we can start experimenting. What ways can we use it? We don't even know all the ways that we can use it yet, you know, we're just getting started with it. You know, it is a special time now for us, like you said earlier, the 1st of September. Today is the 1st, eh?
Today is the 2nd.
The 2nd.
Yes, yesterday was the 1st.
The 1st of September was the cutoff line to Russ Gareth Prince. He had his whole court case, and they had 2 years to make a final decision. And now the 1st of September, which is yesterday, was the cutoff date for that decision. So now we're all going to find out, okay, what was the result of it? Can we privately use it? Can we this? Can we this? Can we this? It's a powerful time for South Africa in that sense as well. And that was also just a local, you know, Gareth Prince comes from Nisa, and he studied law and all this kind of stuff, but look at the massive difference he's making. Also in a unique way.
I think each individual that has a calling can contribute in his or her own way. And the plant chooses you. You know?
Yeah, it does.
I guess you will agree on that.
100%. You know, you got to be, you know, the plant will change you. It'll make you right for it if you not, you know.
True.
Which is special as well. That's what what's his name? Ruben, King Ruben. He told us as well. He said that people can jump in, and massive industries cannot jump in on this thing, but This is still cannabis at the end of the day. If you use cannabis, it changes the way you think about stuff. It changes the way you operate. So massive guys that were against it all the years are now starting to use it and openly, you know. It's going to change the way they think about stuff as well, you know. So there's massive hope in those regards as well.
Which is the beginning of enlightenment on a massive scale.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I hope so.
Us at a very young age, you know, it has opened our.
It opens our eyes.
It opens the eyes.
It makes you want to live good and do good things, you know. We can't use more. The world can use more good, you know. And let me just double check my questions here.
You're doing great, Harry. Seriously nice. You as well, Chris. This is beautiful stuff, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Okay, here's a nice personal one for you. So, if you had to choose one thing that is the most important thing that you've learned out of cannabis, what would you say that is? If you had to. Just off the top of your head.
The most important thing that I have learned out of cannabis, man, I can honestly say that cannabis has changed my life. By working with the plants, I have seen what the plant can do on a local community scale. Where we were working in Congo, we had massive work operation, 250 guys, sometimes up to 300, depending on the work. All kinds of skills, carpenters, mechanics, plumbers, physical workforce. And we were being applauded by the local police station of town that they were seeing like concretely the criminality rates going down because those youths that were like unemployed and did what they had to do to survive.
Now that they have a stream of income,
could supply for their families, had a positive working environment, because that's what we really focused hardly on. We start every morning, we raise the Congolese flag as patriots, and we raise also the Rasta flag. And we chant, Ja Rastafarian!
Rastafarian!
So slowly, people that have never had any notice or heard about the notion of what everything comes with the philosophy of Rasta and how it's a way of living and treating your brother, respecting each other, not stealing, being constructive, good morals. That was a part of our work ethic, So you are talking about 250 to 300 guys that while working are actually in this positive environment.
That changes the whole way the whole dynamics of that village or that area that you're doing it in. Or
creates abundance.
Wow, amazing. It's powerful.
Yeah. So that's the first thing I think I thought about when you asked me that question.
Okay, so you could see how much difference it can make, and that's what the important thing.
How it unifies people in a collective consciousness to all think on a unified frequency, enhanced frequency of love, of having compassion for each other and being more in tune with each other. So that's what the plant brings out in people. So that's what you say that you've learned the most, because that's the first thing that naturally channeled through you. Interesting, brother.
Imagine
Interesting.
what your life would have been like without cannabis. Christoph, thank you so much for letting us ask you a couple of questions and coming onto our channel. It's massive support for us as well.
Yeah,
so,
pleasure.
We appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
And go check out Christoph's Instagram. We'll put a little link in the description and everything for you guys. So yeah, you know, the guy's up to amazing stuff all the time. No, but awesome, brother. Thank you so much,
brother.
Yeah,
Thanks for inviting me, and I again want to say thank you to you and Bertie and all the rest of the Dankipa crew for welcoming me with open arms. I feel very much at home here, so I think we just can continue the story from here, you know, and keep spreading it. So thanks again, Herman, Dankipa, and everybody for being such great people. Woo!
Amazing.
Thanks, brother.
Amazing.
Little darling, stereo. Come on, baby. Come, stereo. Little darling, stereo. Ooh. It's been a long, long time since I've got you on my mind. Now you are here, darling. It's so clear to see when we will do, baby. Just me and you come and stir up. Whoa, little darling, stir up. Come on, come on, come on, hey.